I'm speaking to Billy Bromley after the Rockets' impressive 4-1 win at home to Hastings United today. Billy, another fine win.
Yeah, nice to be back in league action after such a long layup. I think best part of 2 months. I think almost to the because that was Havant was a cut game. So yeah, I think it's over 2 months since we've been in league action. So it was nice to get back and start finding the net again.
Certainly was, and there was 4 of them, and only after a nervy start, Billy, which I was going to ask you. Obviously, the Rockets having to come from behind 1-0 near the very beginning, the second minute, and they really had to up their game, didn't they, for the rest of the game to get those goals?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we've had quite an emotional time of it as a club. Unfortunately, one of our players, Lulu Robson, her nan Knuckles, who was our biggest supporter, suddenly passed away. Start of this week, which was a real loss, and you know we put a few things in place for Lulu today to try and have a little bit of like a remembrance of Knuckles. Not that no one will ever not remember, but to show us as a club that we're here for her. And I think that had a slight knock-on effect across the whole team. You know, it was an emotional day. We've just had a few sad times at the club, but the girls done really well to come out and do it. And I mean, a credit to Lulu Robson. She was at training Thursday, trained fantastically. She played really well today. You know, nothing changed for her, and it's just a true credit to her as a person and the footballing side of her family. You know, she wanted to be here and she wanted to be playing in memory of her nan. So I think it just made us all start a little bit slow. Maybe the big layup, like I say, we haven't had a chance to play at Nywood for so long in front of a home crowd. I think we were just slow out of the blocks, really, and you know, credit to Hastings. They made the most of it, and I think she could have hit that shot 50 times and it wouldn't have gone in. But that one time she hit it and she hit it well, and it went in.
It was a fine strike, of course, from her. But talking of fine strikes, another one from Millie Carter from about 35 yards out.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And same with Dilly towards the end of the game, you know, another one. We do say to the girls, you know, first thing you should be thinking when the ball's at your feet is, can I get a shot off? Especially at this standard, you know. One thing we've shown as a club and a team, and it's nice that it's not just an individual. We have players in every position that can find the net. I mean, 2 of our goals came from centre halves today. I mean, that says everything, really. We've enjoyed it. It was nice to get back playing, and hopefully now we can get a bit of momentum and build into the season. But we're still taking it week in, week out. We're not looking at anything now. We're just focusing on each game as it comes and letting the stuff in the background just happen.
One downer for today was Gracie White's injury. It looked like an ACL problem. Billy, is it going to be bad for the rest of the season for her?
Not sure is the truth. We've had a look at her. She is currently en route to St Richard's. It's an injury she's had before, back in 2018. She would have been very young there, 'cause she's a young player now, but the truth is we don't know. She's off for an x-ray pure and simply to get the ball rolling and start. Then she can get a proper triage and get herself MRI on it and see what the MRI says. But again, we'll be there as a club to support her, and we'll help her in any way that we can. It's such a shame, because I've actually really enjoyed watching Gracie.
Consistent, didn't she, all season?
And she's really come out of her shell. I didn't know her at youth. She played under Matt at youth level, and she is a great player. And it's a loss, but funnily enough, it's the position that we have the most players in. We've got about 5 centre halves that are all of a really good standard. So from a football point of view, it doesn't have a massive impact in the fact we can't fill it, but as a team, yeah, it's a huge loss. She's a great player, and I'm hoping that it's not, and she might come back, but it doesn't look very promising.
And looking ahead, Billy, a lot of games still to come. Obviously, a lot of games have been called off because of the weather, so that makes your job a lot harder, obviously, trying to fit all these games in and trying to get the best out of the team, avoid injuries. That must be an issue, as we've seen today. It's already, we've seen one injury. Hard pitch today, not much rain lately, so these all things play in part as the back end of the season where you remain unbeaten in the league. What have you got to do now to try and get that extra bit just to get us over the line to finish in those top spots?
Yeah, I mean, focus on strength and conditioning throughout training, along with our set pieces and everything else that we go over at training. But it's hard. I mean, as the season goes on, the players are 2 months, best part of 2 months without any real fixtures. The Lewis game was great, but we defended heavily there. Sport Benfica was a good game, very end to end, but we haven't had the minutes or the consistency that we wanted. Moving forward now, it's looking like we are. We're going to start getting our fixtures played, but everyone seems to suffer with what we're suffering with. We just don't get the rub of the green with the pitch, unfortunately, and the amount of clubs that are suffering with either the weather or the fact that we're not just being allowed to get our games on when maybe sometimes we could. That's not just Bognor, that goes across the board. It's something this season that's really been an eye-opener for me, and I think something that really needs to be worked on is I feel there is a lack of support for the women's game to be played on some pitches, and it's called a bit easier than it should be or would be if it was a different gender, it's a shame. And that's not a dig at Bognor itself. I've seen it across almost every club, and that's the same with ones with the 3G. You know, the women still aren't taking priority. We're having a kick off at 3:30, 4 o'clock. It doesn't work. You know, it's a shame. But yeah, going back on subject, we've got a long season ahead, and we are just looking at it week in, week out. To be honest, the league, it would be nice, but it's not actually our priority now. Our priority is to keep playing football, keep building momentum, keep the players happy, and let the stuff in the background just naturally fall into place.
Sure it will, Billy. Thanks for your interview today.
Thanks, Liam. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.